On Tuesday, Telangana Minister Malla Reddy had said the accused will be killed in an encounter, and 2 days later he was found dead. The 6-year-old girl went missing from her home in Singarini Colony in Hyderabad on September 9. The next day, her body was found in the house of the neighbor wrapped in a bedsheet. An autopsy confirmed that she was sexually assaulted and strangled. While the girl was found dead inside the neighbor, Pillai Kondaraju's house on Sunday, he had been missing since. The police had released a photo of the suspect, Pillai Kondaraju, announcing a reward of 10 lakh rupees for any leads to the whereabouts or capture of the 30-year-old.
Wishes pour out for Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he turns 71 today on Happy Birthday Mojiji with twin trend of National Unemployment Day. The Bharatiya Janata Party has around 50 million postcards thanking Prime Minister Modi for his pro-people welfare schemes, film screenings and exhibitions on his life, blood donation camps, cleanliness, and vaccination drives are among the activities planned by the Bharatiya Janata Party to celebrate his birthday. The activities will continue for 3 weeks, September 17 to October 7, as the period also commemorates the birth anniversary of Pandit Deen Dayal Upadhyay, September 25, Gandhi Jayanti, October 2, and October 7 marks the completion of 20 years in office by Modi as head of elected governments.
Amazon Prime Video to release Prithvi Raj starrer Brahman on October 7 in India. Amazon Prime Video on Sunday announced the release of the Prithvi Raj starrer Malayalam crime thriller Brahman on October 7 in the country. Brahman features Prithvi Raj Sukumaran in the lead along with an ensemble of talented actors including Unni Mukundan, Rashi Khanna, Sudhir Karamana and Mamta Mohandas in key role. Directed by Ravi K. Chandran, who is also helming cinematography in the film. The Malayalam rendition is produced under the banner of AP International and Viacom 18 Studios. The film dwells on the dualities of a pianist who pretends to his musical journey gets interlaced with suspense, inspiration, confusion and drama as he gets embroiled in a murder mystery. As the plot thickens and a set of bizarre events unfold, wit and survival create the fabric of the film, coupled with a stellar background score by musician Jakes Bijoy. Commenting on the film, maybe more than ever, the US President Joe Biden said during his meeting with Prime Minister Narendra Modi at the White House on Friday, that the partnership is about a shared responsibility to uphold democratic values and their joint commitment to diversity. Pointing out at Mahatma Gandhi's upcoming birth anniversary, the US President said his message of non-violence, respect, tolerance matters today maybe more than ever. He further said that the relationship between India and the US is destined to be stronger, closer and tighter. Brought to justice, US President Joe Biden joined Prime Minister Narendra Modi in condemning cross-border terrorism and called for the perpetrators of the 26/11 Mumbai terror attacks to be brought to justice, though the two leaders, who met for their first in-person bilateral on Friday, did not take the name of Pakistan. The reference was obvious. They also denounced any use of terrorist proxies and emphasized the importance of denying any logistical, financial or military support to terrorist groups which could be used to launch or plan terror attacks, a joint statement issued after the talks said. Top seer demands India be declared a Hindu Rashtra or he would take Jal Samadhi. A top seer demands India to be declared a Hindu Rashtra by October 2 and commanded the BJP government to terminate the nationality of Muslims and Christians living in India. ANI reports that the seer Jagadguru Paramahansacharya Maharaj of Tapasvi Chhavni said in Ayodhya, Uttar Pradesh, I demand that India should be declared a Hindu Rashtra by October 2nd or else I'll take Jal Samadhi in river Saryu. The powerful seer Paramahansacharya has earlier undertaken a 15-day-long fast unto death over the issue. The seer broke his fast only after getting assurance from Union Home Minister Amit Shah. The seer community of Ayodhya has said that it will hold a Hindu Sanatan Dharma Sansad in support of the demands made by the seer. The provocative remarks from the seer have come at a time when all top political parties have begun preparing for the crucial assembly elections to be scheduled to be held in Uttar Pradesh in 2022. And it is observed that several other influential seers have in past made similar demands. However, the demand for a Hindu Rashtra has risen under the rule of Narendra Modi. Earlier, when the Aam Aadmi Party and the Samajwadi Party had raised questions on the land purchased by the Sri Ram Janmabhoomi Tirth Kshetra Trust in Ayodhya, the seers had rejected the allegations against the trust and threatened to file a 1,000 crore defamation suit against both parties. While such comments can look politicized, they are dangerously radicalized and can lead to violence and bloodshed. Supreme Court slams farmers when they sought its permission for holding protests at Delhi's Jantar Mantar. The Supreme Court on Friday slammed a farmers group which sought its permission for holding protests at Delhi's Jantar Mantar, asking what is the point in approaching the court if it plans to continue its protests by blocking roads and highways. The court said, "You have strangulated the city and now you want to come inside the city. You are obstructing security and defense personnel." This was in the media. All this should stop. There is no point in protest once you come to the court challenging the laws. The apex court questioned what is the point of doing satyagraha. You have approached the court. Have trust in court. Once you have approached the court, what is the point of protest? Are you protesting against the judicial system? Have faith in the system, he remarked. The Mahapanchayat had sought permission to hold a satyagraha at the Jantar Mantar. Remembering the life and quotes of Mahatma Gandhi on Gandhi Jayanti. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi was born on the 2nd of October 1869 from the 30th of January 1948, was an Indian lawyer and anti-colonial nationalist. He engineered non-violent resistance to lead the powerful move campaigning for India's independence from British rule. This then inspired movements for civil rights and freedom movements across the globe. The honorific Mahatma, Sanskrit, great-souled, venerable, first given to him in 1914 in South Africa, is now used throughout the world. He was born and raised in a Hindu family in coastal Gujarat, studied law at the Inner Temple, London, and was called to the bar at age 22 in June 1891. After 2 tumultuous years in India when his career did not kick-start, he moved over to South Africa in 1893 to represent an Indian merchant in a lawsuit. He lived in South Africa for 21 years. It was here that Gandhi raised a family and first advocated non-violent resistance in a campaign for civil rights. In 1915, aged 45, he returned to India. Global outage with 6 hours of WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram down. After 6 hours of WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram down amid global massive outrage, services were finally restored. It seemed like a dark gloomy for internet users in this digital age when none of the major apps like WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram were working. Amid hilarious memes being shared on Twitter, internet users rushed to Twitter in a frenzy to report the issues they were facing with the Facebook-owned apps, with hashtags trending such as delete Facebook etc. In the turbulent stormy unrest among the users, Twitter humorously tweeted, "Hello literally everyone," which got over 1 million likes. When back, WhatsApp said, "We are entirely back up and running now. We know that people were unable to use at WhatsApp to connect with their friends, family, businesses, community groups, and more today. A humbling reminder of how much people and organizations rely on our app every day. We take our mission seriously, And I'm grateful to everyone who worked hard to bring our service back with the reliability you expect from at WhatsApp. We'll learn and grow from this, and continue working to provide you with a simple, secure, and reliable private messaging app. World's first historic malaria vaccine to be tested in Kenya, Ghana, Malawi. In a historic event, the world's first malaria vaccine is approved by WHO and will be tested in Kenya, Ghana, and Malawi. The World Health Organization on Wednesday endorsed the vaccine in a historical first step in a method that should lead to wide distribution in poor countries. To have a malaria vaccine that is safe, moderately effective, and ready for distribution is a historic event, said Dr. Pedro Alonso, director of the WHO's Global Malaria Program. Dr. Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the World Health Organization's Director General, said the long-awaited vaccine was a breakthrough for science and could save tens of thousands of young lives each year. Kenya, Ghana, and Malawi were chosen for the pilot program because they continue to have high numbers of malaria cases despite having strong prevention and vaccination programs. The vaccines will be tested on children 5 to 17 months old through the existing vaccination programs in each country. We still have a very long road to travel, but this is a long stride down that road, Dr. Tedros said at a news conference on Wednesday. In Chhattisgarh, right-wing group of people took a rally demanding slaughter of Muslims in India. Cops chased them with sticks. On October 5, a mob of over 3,000 Hindu right-wing organizations went on a rally calling for the slaughter of Muslims in India. The rally took place in Congress-ruled Chhattisgarh, and when the supposedly peaceful protest turned violent, the police in Chhattisgarh chased the violent mob with sticks while they fled. There was a mob of around 3,000 people, all part of a peaceful protest organized by Hindu organizations such as Bajrang Dal and Vishwa Hindu Parishad (VHP), who defied the curfew imposed by Chhattisgarh's Kabir-Dam district administration on Tuesday the 5th of October. They reportedly marched with swords, lathis, and other weapons in the district headquarters town of Kavardha, causing extensive damage to property owned by Muslims. They also attacked Muslim businesses and residential areas. In the rally, the Hindu right-wing shockingly demanded the slaughter of Muslims in India, chanting, "Jab mule ke jange, Ram Ram chilenge," meaning, when we cut the Muslims, we will shout Ram Ram. The Chhattisgarh police chased them with sticks. Jai Prakash Narayan included the RSS in his movement. India is still paying the price. Professor Apurvanand of Delhi University has recently written an article titled "In 1974, Jai Prakash Narayan included the RSS in his movement. India is still paying the price." He has boldly stated that we do need an honest and frank discussion about the JP agitation. People have rightly observed that the only achievement it can claim is mainstreaming the RSS and putting it center stage. JP rushed into its arms as he wanted an army for his cause that only the RSS could provide. Professor Apurvanand writes that Jai Prakash was as opposed to the RSS as Indira Gandhi. With this statement, Apurvanand also comes with a series of questions asking, why did he fail to resist the temptation of making a Faustian pact with the RSS in 1974? Had the situation in country become so precarious that there was no option but to overthrow the Congress government, and to go to any extent to achieve this? What led JP to tell India that the Congress party during its 27-year rule had failed the people and country completely? Why did he repudiate the actions of his friend Jawaharlal Nehru? Why did he announce a movement that he ambitiously called the Second Freedom Struggle? Why did he copy the methods adopted during the freedom struggle, such as asking the students to boycott universities and colleges for a year, calling upon people to not cooperate with the government, even going to the extent of asking the police and security forces to not obey the government?